And we'll start with some jumps, just simple sort of jumping up and down. If your knees are not good and you need to not jump and sort of honor that, knees or anything going on with your back or ankles or feet, if you have a broken toe, you don't have to jump, right? You can just come up onto your tiptoes, bend the knees as far as you can. I feel a little bit in my knees. Make sure that when you do bend your knees, you sink back into your heels, so you're sort of sitting your butt back, right? You can also lift your toes. And you don't have to go very far, right? You can go far, right, if that feels okay for you, or you can just bend a little bit, okay? So we'll take 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then relax. You just step aside from side to side, stick your hip out from side to side, just stretching out the hips and mobilizing the hip joints a little bit. And we'll do that again. One more time. Just get some circulation, get your heart rate up a little bit, warm you up a little bit, okay? So again, we can do rising up onto the tiptoes, right? 4, or we can jump. You can keep doing this, or you can jump. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Shift your hips from side to side. All right. And now we're warmed up. And we'll do a little continuing to warm up the legs, but also the belly. Just some leg exercises similar to Supta Parangustasana or big toe pose, those variations. So just take your arms straight up over your head, and you can keep your left knee bent. So I'm going to start like that with my left foot still on the floor and my right leg extended. And gently, I'm going to lift my right leg up and bring it down. Okay, so we're working some core strength here, but you should also feel a gentle stretch in your hamstring, not a tearing. So that's why we're starting slowly like this. If you have tight hamstrings, if you're an athlete or if your body is just made like that, and take it easy, your foot may not come as high. And what we're trying to do here is just work this movement, this side of the abs and the stretch of the hamstring, right, until we get a little release. And you might be able to kick it and touch your hand eventually. Right, and for now, since we're just warming up, it's okay to, sort of lift your hips just a little bit. You don't want to come way up like that. Not right now. Just a little bit. So keep going. Let's just do 3 more. 3, 2, I can feel it in the psoas, which is also really good. 1, and once it gets started, I don't want to stop. Okay, and then other side. So again, my right foot is on the floor. You can keep your right foot on the floor with the knee bent, and we'll take the left leg. Now this is my tighter leg, so it's not going to go as high, right? So you may have one as well. I'm going to take it easy because I can really feel that stretch, and I don't want to overstretch, which is what I do sometimes or have in the past, which is why I now have a stiffer left hamstring. But, life is learning, right? But you can see it releasing a little bit, going a little bit higher. just stay focused on keeping the pelvis as sort of stable as you can. Working the psoas here and your lower abdominal muscles. And again, you might see if you can touch that hand. I can't quite. Okay, 3 and 2 and 1. I know that was 6. Okay, but that's good anyway. Okay, and then let your arms come out to the side. Here you see Luna Bell over here. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Let it out through your mouth. Okay, and now we'll stretch the left leg straight, and we'll do it again. So, taking the left leg straight. All right, try to keep that stable. The right leg comes up and down, and up and down, and up and down, and up, and Now, really breathe out when you lift your leg, right? You can breathe in and out through your nose, or you can breathe out through your mouth. This one is a little more challenging, so we'll stop now, and then we'll switch. So right leg straight, your left knee bent, and then we'll stretch it up. Okay, point your toe, and we'll lift. So I'm taking it really easy on this side. These are some warm-ups I'm doing for a class that I'm taking. I'm sharing this. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and then release. Okay, and so now bring your feet back to the floor, separate your feet a little wider than your mat. And I really like to do this letting the knees drop from side to side. You can let your head turn as well, so your head turning in the opposite direction of the knees. That's a great fascial release through the back body, but also through the front body. I like to do this to stretch out the abdominal muscles when I've been using them like that. Okay, and then we'll come back to center with the feet back to hip distance. And then we're going to bring the leg out to the side and back in. So with the left knee bent, you'll stretch your right leg straight, but not touching the floor, right? And then we're bringing it out to the side, and then down, and out to the side, and down, and out, and down. So again, be real careful with this, with your sacrum. You don't want to go so far that you're having to lift the left hip too much, right? You can bring your hand up. This is a kick. It could be a kick. Out to the side, out to the side, out to the side, and okay, and then other side. So we'll bring the left leg around, okay, and again, this is my tighter side, but this feels pretty good. Keep doing those circles. Keep breathing. And again, yeah, if you want to hit, you can. Practice the kick. It's a Kalari kick. Lagam. Let's see, 2 more. And last one. Okay. All right. Muy bien. Okay. Stretch your arms out to the side. And again, we'll walk the feet wide and let the knees drop from side to side. Let your head turn in the opposite direction of the knees. And reconnect with gentle breathing. And one more to each side. And last one. And then wiggle the feet back in. And you can either roll to your side and press yourself up using your hands, or bring your arms behind your legs, lift your hips, and rock and roll up. And this feels really good. If you're doing this, you can do it a couple more times. A little massage on the back, on your spine. And then turn around and come to hands and knees. Okay, so in hands and knees, or I'm going to turn just a little bit on the diagonal. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so table pose. Use something under your knees if they don't feel good. I think I'm going to be okay for what we're going to do. Lift your lower back by lifting your lower belly. Okay, so we lift from here to lift the lower back toward the sky. Okay, so from here, we'll take the right hand to the back of your neck and then drop your elbow to touch the left arm, and then lift your elbow as high as you can and drop and lift and drop, lift, drop, lift. Just 2 more. Drop and lift. Keep your belly engaged. Keep lifting your lower belly and your navel. 3, I just stuck that one in there. And then we'll take the left hand to the back of your neck. Drop that left elbow in and then lift. Drop it to the right arm and lift. Drop and lift. Keep going. And drop and lift. Drop and lift. Okay, and then left hand back down. Curl your toes under. Sink your hips back toward your heels, and then lift your hips into downward facing dog. You can stretch your right heel toward the floor, bending your left knee, and then we'll switch. Take a breath in each one. Switch, right heel to the floor, bending the left knee. Deep breath in and out. And left heel down, right heel lifted. Deep breath in and out. Okay, and then bring your knees back down. So if you have a wall nearby, you'll need that. So go to the wall, and you may want a yoga brick. So we're going to take the right foot up the wall, okay? So your knee will come to the floor, and you can also do this like at the couch, right? So you could just sort of hook your foot over the edge of the couch. Again, make sure you have something under your knee if the hardness of the floor, if you have a hard floor, hard surface that you're on. So you can either bring this foot to the floor, or you may need to just keep the knee down, because this is a pretty big stretch, right? So as you lift yourself up, you're going to really feel this in the front of the groin and the quadriceps. Okay, if you can, bring the other foot to the floor. You can wiggle it around there. Reach back. You can place your hand on your heel just to feel it, to feel whether it's going toward the midline, toward your tailbone, or staying sort of in line with your outer hip. You want it to stay in line with your outer hip. Okay, and then you're just pressing your hip back toward the wall and back to the inner edge of the foot as you can. This feels pretty good for me right here. My hips are not touching the wall, but they have in the past, and yours can too if you just keep doing this. Every day, or 3 times a week. So in through the nose and out through the nose, breathing evenly. And then if you have your block, bring your block out to the side, bring your left hand in, and then bring that right foot down. Okay, and then we'll switch sides. So now the left foot will go up the couch, right? The front edge of the couch, or up the wall with, if you can, get your knee all the way back to touch the wall. And then notice my foot. See how my toes are pointing in, right, or out. We want the toes to point straight up. So one way to do that is to spread your toes and spread your pinky toe outward. Okay, so this is my left. If I was mirroring you, it would be your right, sorry, right? And then you can maybe take your hand back there just to make sure you have the right alignment, and then the right knee can stay on the floor, or maybe you lift it up. And here you go. Okay, yeah, I feel it. I am feeling it. And I also have this baseboard. If you have like a baseboard and like, the molding around the wall, you may want to put a blanket or a towel between your knee and the wall. But I just moved away a little bit. And yeah. Okay, breathing in and out through your nose. Whew. Okay. So then again, so this is my left foot. If it's your right, you're going to move it to the inside. So the hands come around to the left, and then the foot slides down the opposite way. Okay, awesome. All right. So the last thing we will do for hips today is eye of the needle. So if you do have a brick or something hard, a book or something you're using for a prop, you could actually just take that brick and roll to your side. Come on down to your back again. and put your foot up onto the brick. I mean, you could literally have a brick, they're just kind of heavy. But I think originally that is what Iyengar used, was a brick from the garden. All right, so this may be enough of a lift to have your foot on the block and then cross your other ankle over. Okay, and then tilt your pelvis forward and back. So you can see I'm lifting my lower back away from the floor, and then I'm going to tilt my pelvis back and press it toward the floor. You can see my COVID hip. And back, and forward, and back, and forward, right? So for me right now, this is good. This feels pretty good. I could probably go a little further, and if you would like to go a little further, you can take your hands behind your thigh like this. And you can do the same thing, a little forward tilt, forward and back, and you can also move the legs a little from side to side. Keep breathing. Really use the breath to nourish your body. And you can direct the breath to wherever you're feeling the sensation in your hip. Or if you're spacing out, or if you're having thoughts, you can direct the breath to your brain. Just clear out those thoughts. Okay. And now we'll release. And if you're using the brick, stretch that leg out that was crossed over and bring it to the floor. Just move that block over. And then you can place your right foot now on the block, my right. And then cross the left ankle over the right knee. Again, this may be enough for you. If you rotate or you tilt the pelvis forward, you'll feel more stretch in the hip, right? If you bring it back, you'll feel a little less stretch, right? But you are getting some mobility in the joint as you're stretching, which is good. And then if you can take more without straining, for instance, without lifting your head and your shoulders, then you could lift your right leg and then take your hands behind your thigh. Now, if you can take your hands behind your thigh here, and you're kind of like this, like you reach and you're just kind of like this, then you actually can take a blanket or a pillow or something and put it under your head so you can stretch your neck straight, right? You don't want to compress your neck. So you could do that as well. And then you can do the forward, backward tilt. You can also be still. I like to move a little bit to get that mobility. But I also like to be still too. So keep breathing. Again, directing the breath, using your attention, your awareness to the tight places, or to clear out any thoughts that might be stuck in there. Two more breaths, breathing in and out. One. And breathe in and out. Two. Okay. And then release. release your foot back down, uncross. You can stretch that leg straight. And then release, move that block out of the way. And let's roll over. This will be our final posture. So you're rolling over onto your back. I'm going to turn on the diagonal again. Stretch your legs straight back behind you. Bring your elbows underneath your shoulders and reach back. Stretch your tailbone back. You can sort of squeeze the glutes around your sacrum to sort of activate the muscles that will pull the tailbone back. But let this action be very soft, and let the main action come from the front, from the belly. So lifting the lower belly, right? So think about lifting the lower belly. You can squeeze a little bit in the glutes to reach the tailbone back, but focus more on the front. You can give it a little, stretch the arms to give it a little more. Ooh, to stretch out your back and your psoas and your belly. Try to lift evenly on both sides. Especially in a stretch like this, or when you're working in Cobra, I'm not real big on moving from side to side and doing things like that, because you're dealing with your sacrum and your spine, and I don't think that's particularly safe. So I would say here, just work on length. That is the most important thing here. Mobility up and down, not side to side or wonky. And lengthening from the tailbone through the top of the head. Breathe. And then come on down. Roll back onto your back. And bring both knees into your chest. You can just take your knees with your hands, rock from side to side. If it feels good to hold, so wrap all the way around, you can do that. Wrap your arms around. Walk your hands down. See how little you can make yourself, squeezing yourself into a ball. All right. All right. So now you can rest. I'm going to come back up, stretch your legs out, put a blanket under your knees, a blanket under your head, whatever you need to feel comfortable, and enjoy your rest. And I hope you enjoyed that practice.